few options. So I have this boohoo dress with the flared sleeves, which is a little bit booby, but I think it's just about alright, but the bottom's a bit creased, so I'm going to do that. And I got this for, I think it was £12. It was only £12 because I had like a discount code, and I got it in like a weird flash sale, so that's a bargain. And the other option is this ASOS dress I haven't worn, which has got kind of like a squarey scoopy neck thing, and then nips in at the waist, and it's got kind of voluminous sleeves. But I'm going to steam them both, so then I can try them on later and see how we get on. I have to say, getting a steamer is one of the best things that I've ever done. So if you're someone that struggles with getting like a heavy ironing board out, maybe it's packed away in an inconvenient spot in the house, I can't recommend getting a steamer enough, because you just steam whenever you need to, rather than doing like a massive pile of ironing each time. You just, whenever you get dressed and if something's a bit creasy, you just get this out. It only takes about 40 seconds to heat up. This sounds like an advert, doesn't it? But only 40 seconds to heat up. Good to go. Obviously this is something I'm very much used to doing from my styling days. A lot of my time was spent steaming, and when I do my styling these days, which is generally for the brand Farah Vintage, this is what the bulk of my time is spent doing, which is actually surprisingly tiring. This isn't decreasing that well. Not the best fabric for a steamer, it would appear. I will warn you though, if you've got weak arms like me, this steamer, which is the T-Foul one, it is reasonably heavy. Luckily it doesn't take too long to do this. So I'm going to give myself some soft waves for the Kerrang Awards tonight, using my Remington Pro Luxe. It's a bit of a hot day to be doing heated styling, particularly in a toweling dressing gown, which by the way really needs a wash. But I'm doing it for you, Kerrang. So once I've curled, what I do is I just brush through it, just soften it, so it becomes more of like, almost like a 1920s kind of set wave to it. There you go. Right, so I'm going to start putting my face on. I don't leave for a couple hours, but I'm bored, so I thought I'd just get cracking on it. I'm going to touch up my face with this Barley Body, which I've been using instead of foundation. As if you've watched my video on recent beauty finds, you will know that I'm very much enjoying it. Do have a few spots. I had a really late night last night, so I got home from the Instagram party, and then in my inbox was a really late potential bit of paid work. The brand were very apologetic that it was late notice, but it was for 6:30 AM the next day, and it was the evening before they let me know about it. So till about 11:45 at night I was negotiating, you know, the money and whether or not it was doable and whether I wanted to do it. And in the end, after all that effort, it wasn't possible, because the thing they wanted me to do I can't do with my health issues anyway. And I was like, if only we'd worked that out earlier, I could have had a less stressful evening. And got to bed on time. And the frustrating thing is, by that point I knew how much money I was going to get paid to do it, so it's also knowing that I'm missing out on the money as well, which I desperately need right now. But I just want to tell you that, because that's how this industry works sometimes. It can be very, very last minute, and if you're someone that has things they need to take into account, like energy levels or just anxiety perhaps, it doesn't suit you all that well. Anyway, on to tonight. So it's the Kerrang Awards. I think this is my 5th or 6th Kerrang Awards. I obviously used to do like the red carpet interviews and things, and one year I even did the backstage interviews for Relentless. So I was at the Sanctum Hotel and I had to interview Ralph from Enter Shikari, Marmosettes, Pierce the Veil, Austin Carlisle of Mice and Men, Tonight Alive, that was it. So I did that and then had to rush. I had to get changed in the taxi and then do the red carpet interviews for my channel. So that was a very stressful year. But the first year I went to the Kerrang Awards was 2012, and back then the venue it was at was very cobbly. I had heels on, and I'm obviously not someone that's very good in heels, and of course I stacked it, completely stacked it in front of all the crowds of fans, not my fans obviously, all the musicians' fans that were outside the venue hoping to meet them on their way in and out. Landed on a poor PR woman with a clipboard. I just thought, oh, that's a sign of things to come. I pulled myself together, did my interviews and stuff, and that was the year that Bring Me the Horizon, that old lineup where they still had Jonah, Matt Keane went missing when it was their time to do their paparazzi shots on the carpet. So Matt Nichols decided that I should be the replacement. So I was dragged over, had to stand with the band as if I was the bassist. And I guess it's funny and a fun little memory, but at the time I died inside, as you can imagine. I've had quite a few funny Kerrang memories. Some I can share, some I can't share, never will. I think one of my highlights was when there's obviously the whole row of journalists and stuff doing their interviews, and Jason Newsted of Metallica pointed at me, came over, grabbed my face and gave me a big kiss on the cheek. I feel like bloggers, influencers, I don't know, I feel like they think we're a bit cringe, or I think that they think we shouldn't be there. And I get it to an extent, I do understand it, because I came from a journalist background. I see their angles of opinion. But it's nice for them to see that a musician that I've interviewed obviously didn't hate the experience and wanted to come over and say hello, so that was nice. So I'm just touching up the bits where I've got some spots, and I got bitten by mozzies last night, so I'm just touching that up. I'm going to put some of my George Asda blush on my cheeks. I don't actually know what the Kerrangs are going to be like this year, because it's a very different affair this year, because there's a whole new team at Kerrang, different editor, it's a whole different vibe basically, and it's a much more intimate venue this year. I think it's a small amount of people, which actually really appeals to me. It sounds way more up my street actually, and I hear there's food, which is obviously great. But I don't know who's performing, whether there's any performances or if it's just literally going through the awards and then just enjoying some drinks and food and stuff. I'm going to stop rambling on, otherwise it's going to be the longest video ever. I'm not even at the Kerrangs. So I'll show you my finished look. I forgot to say, I remember when Marilyn Manson walked past us, but we didn't get an interview, but he said, "Hi ladies," because Zoe was next to me as well, and he was like, "Hi ladies." We were all like, "Ooh." That was quite exciting, even though we didn't get like anything proper to use content wise. It was still nice to be called ladies by Marilyn Manson. My teenager self would have been excited about that. I guess I was quite excited to do a little red carpet interview with Mark Hoppus too. That was cool. I think my worst interview ever at the Kerrangs, actually, no, the worst one ever I never put up because he was inappropriate, the person. The worst one was probably with Machine Head. And I don't know why, but he really struggled to understand what I was saying. Obviously, it's quite chaotic on the red carpet, so maybe it was just too noisy. But I think my accent or something, he said my accent was hard to understand. So it was like really hard going. And in the end, I just kind of wrapped it up because, you know, there's only so many times someone could go, "What? Pardon?" So that was a bit of a disappointment because I was a fan of Machine Head when I was younger. And also I struggled to hear what the clown from Slipknot was saying as well because of his mask. And I was a bit scared as well, so I didn't want to probe him too much. So I kept that one very brief as well. But these things, you get through them and they haunt you for life, but you're glad you did them in the end. But yeah, I'm not too sad I'm not doing that tonight. It's nice to actually go and just relax tonight, just enjoy the show. I think I'm just going to take some pictures, do some Insta stories, and that's about it work-wise. Taking it easy for once. Right, so this is outfit option 1. A black dress which got like an elasticated bit here. It's only falling down because I haven't done the back up yet because I need help with that. It's got the full kind of long sleeves. So that's option 1. Oh, I'm not going to be able to decide. So this is fairly modest on the chest area. I think the other one's a bit more booby, so that might be the decider. Right, hold on, I'll show you outfit 2. And this is option 2. So this is got big sleeves again, but more of like a fluted sleeve. It's V-neck and it's lacy, kind of similar length again. I won't be wearing those shoes. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to pick the one that you all think is the less good one. But I think you just got to go with what you're comfortable in the end. I might ask Si's opinion as well. Oh God, I'm just not used to showing the chest, but maybe I should do it a bit more often. I don't know. Decisions. So this is my finished makeup. I've gone for a very smoky eye for the Kerrang Awards. How obvious, I know. And I've just used... it's kind of a dark grey, but it's almost black from the Catherine Lights Morph collaboration palette. Got the George from Asda blush with the George highlighter palette, the gold colour on the cheeks. Got a Smashbox, an old lip gloss that I had on the lips. The Barley Body BB cream instead of foundation. And I've just put a bit of the highlighter just on my collarbones as well. So this is the finished look. I think I've gone actually a bit heavy on the eyes, but maybe it's just because I'm not used to it. Hopefully I'll look rocky. As you can see, I went for this option. I think Si agreed with this one as well. So I'm just going to meet my friend Anna at Highbury and Islington Station, and we're going to head in together because it's always a bit scary. And obviously I don't want to fall down again. I need some stability. I need someone to hold on to. So Anna, that is you.